a script on how the US court system works, keeping the same engaging and casual tone for your video. The court system, one of the most complicated but powerful parts of the country. When people think of courts, they imagine a judge with a gavel, a lawyer yelling objection, or a jury deciding someone's fate. But how does the US court system actually work? There's more to it than just guilty or not guilty. From small disputes to national-level battles, courts decide who wins, who loses, and sometimes what the law even means. So today, we're breaking it all down. How the US courts work, the different types of courts, who has the most power, and why some people get away with things while others don't. The US court system is structured. First things first, not all courts are the same. The US has two major types of courts. One, state courts handle local crimes, lawsuits, family disputes, and smaller legal matters. Two, federal courts handle big cases that affect the whole country, like constitutional issues, crimes across state lines, and cases involving the government. But within these, there are multiple levels. You don't just go straight to the Supreme Court after one case. There's a whole process. One, trial courts, where everything starts. Every case begins in a trial court. Criminal cases, a person is accused of breaking the law and the court decides if they're guilty or not. Civil cases, a person or company sues another over money, property, contracts, or personal disputes. Trial courts are witnesses, evidence, arguments, and emotional courtroom drama. If someone loses, they can appeal to the next level. Two, appellate courts. Fixing mistakes. If a person disagrees with the verdict, they can go to an appellate court. But here's the twist. Appellate courts don't have trials. No new evidence, no witnesses, no jury. Instead, appellate judges review what happened in the trial court to see if there were any mistakes. If they find an error, they can change the decision or order a new trial. -3, the Supreme Court, the final boss. At the top is the Supreme Court, the highest court in the country. It only takes a few cases each year, but these cases change history. They decide if laws are constitutional or not. They make rulings that affect millions of people. Their decisions cannot be appealed. Whatever they say is final. The Supreme Court has 9 justices, and they have more power than most politicians. Why? Because their rulings can change the law without Congress ever passing a new one. That's how a case moves through the system. Let's say someone commits a serious crime like fraud or murder. Here's how their case moves through the courts. 1, arrest and charges. Police arrest them, and the prosecutor files charges. 2, trial court. A judge or jury hears the case and decides guilty or not guilty. 3, appeals. If the losing side thinks the trial was unfair, they can appeal to a higher court. 4, Supreme Court, maybe? If a case is extremely important, it might reach the Supreme Court. Not every case makes it past step 2. Most people accept the verdict or settle outside of court. Who has more power, judges, lawyers, or juries? A courtroom is like a battlefield with 3 main players. 1, judges. They control the rules and have the final say. 2, lawyers. They fight for their clients using arguments and legal tricks. 3, juries. They decide guilt in criminal trials and responsibility in civil cases. But who really has the most power? Judges have the ultimate authority. They can overrule objections, throw out evidence, and even decide cases alone in bench trials. Lawyers can manipulate the system. Some win cases based on technicalities rather than truth. Juries hold real people's lives in their hands, but they can be biased or emotional. In reality, the judge has the most power because they control who wins, who loses, and how the case is handled. How can some people escape punishment? Ever wonder why rich and powerful people seem to escape punishment while regular people go to jail for minor crimes? Here's why. 1, money equals better lawyers. Wealthy people hire top lawyers who know loopholes and technicalities. 2, plea deals. Instead of risking a long sentence, prosecutors offer deals that reduce punishment. 3, delays and appeals. Rich defendants can drag out cases for years until the court gives up or public interest fades. 4. Political influence. In rare cases, powerful people pressure courts or judges behind the scenes. Not all courts are corrupt, but the justice system favors those who know how to play the game. Weird laws and crazy court cases. The court system also deals with some of the strangest cases you can imagine. Here are some real ones. 1. McDonald's hot coffee case, 1994. A woman sued McDonald's because their coffee was too hot and won $3 million. 2. The monkey selfie case, 2011. A monkey took a selfie and courts had to decide if animals can own copyrights. 3. A sued himself, 1995. A man sued himself for $5 million while in prison, arguing he violated his own rights. These cases show that courts don't just handle serious crimes, they deal with bizarre legal debates too. Final thoughts. Courts matter. The court system is complicated, but it's one of the most powerful parts of the country. Judges can change laws without Congress. Supreme Court justices serve for life and make historic rulings. The rich and powerful play the system, but courts still protect ordinary people's rights. At the end of the day, laws don't matter without courts to enforce them. And whether you love or hate the legal system, one thing is clear. If you ever end up in court, you better have a good lawyer.